We had went to church and got out of church, and Mondawmin was closed, so we walked down to Pennsylvania. Red Fox. I don't know if it was Red Fox at the time, but it was a liquor store there at that time. We had walked down there, and somebody was old enough to buy it.
Okay.
And I can remember that was my first drink.
First drink, age about 10 years old. And then the next drug that you graduated to, was it marijuana?
Marijuana.
You ever smoke cigarettes?
Yep.
Did you smoke a cigarette before you smoked marijuana?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Okay. A lot of people miss that. I think that if you smoke cigarettes before you smoke marijuana, it makes marijuana smoking easier. It makes it more of it's like falls right in line rather than starting off smoking reefer and choking and not knowing how to hold it in and all that sort of thing. You with me? Because a lot of people don't realize that nicotine, cigarettes, that's a drug.
Yeah. And you know what? It's strange that you say that because I remember when I first smoked, I done the same thing I did when I smoked marijuana, coughed and choked and all of that stuff. So that kind of probably prepared me for the marijuana.
Sure it did.
You know?
Sure, it's a setup. Yeah. And so then, so you went from Richards to cigarette to marijuana, and then how old were you when you first started smoking marijuana? You remember?
It probably was a couple years after, probably 12, 12, maybe 12 or 13 at the latest.
Okay. And then you moved up a little notch higher, didn't you? What else? What did you start using?
Started taking Christmas trees, slammers, Quaaludes, pills.
Christmas tree. That's something that Santa Claus used to give out?
Yeah, Santa Claus. We thought it was Santa Claus.
Really? Christmas trees. Lord have mercy. But I haven't heard about that in a long time. I think I missed that. I really do. I think I missed Christmas trees. I noted that we used to have Quaaludes and dummies and syrup and Black Beauties. Did I say Quaaludes?
You did.
Yeah. Acid.
Yep.
But I heard about Christmas trees. I don't really think I missed anything.
Okay.
I don't think I missed anything by missing.
Because
the hash and all that other stuff, that was enough. And then we graduated to heroin and cocaine. And that was, we got.
And you know one thing, Dr. Jordan,
Yes,
is
sir.
that when I started using heroin, I didn't want no more marijuana. I didn't want no more pills. I didn't want nothing but that.
How old were you when you
15.
15.
15 years old.
You remember the day where you were, what happened?
Mondawmin parking lot. I remember like it was yesterday. Me and a good friend of mine, who's actually in recovery too.
Really?
He has 23 years now.
Okay, and so did you start off sniffing?
No.
Really?
I started off shooting.
You had to be in a car. Were you in a car?
No, on the parking lot.
You always sitting down on the parking lot?
Sitting on the parking lot.
At night?
No.
It was daylight.
Daylight.
Y'all was already high. Y'all didn't need no heroin. Y'all sitting in the middle of the parking lot in broad daylight shooting dope. Man, you must have had some riches that day. Huh?
No, actually, we didn't have anything that day until we got the heroin. Now, this time we couldn't go buy it.
Yeah,
because we was babies.
But Ricky, if you look back at our lives, we were practicing some insanity before the dope.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that something? But we couldn't see that. We couldn't see that. And so many times I believe, Brother Ricky, that we need to put our lives on rewind even when we're in recovery so we won't go back to doing some of the things that now that we're clean that we used to do before the drink or drug. I think I just said something powerful.
Oh,
brother.
you did? That's part of the inventory that we talk about in recovery.
Yeah.
You know, I examine myself every night before I go to sleep. I examine myself, and when I get up in the morning, I examine myself to prepare myself for that day.
10-step. Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
now you need a sponsor. You need a sponsor to guide you through that stuff.
Right.
You just can't go on your own understanding because I know what I know what my own understanding led me to.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's why we here probably having this interview today.
That's right. The hope. This is where the hope is. Because we can't get too much hope ourselves. I don't think we can't give ourselves hope. Hope is an inside job. See, because hope doesn't have you sitting on the parking lot in broad daylight shooting dope at the age of 13 or 14. That's not hope, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope before you. That's a dope thinking before you even get the dope in you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think about that,
Sure.
that's insanity, man.
Sure. Sure.
You had to be sitting between two parked cars or something where people couldn't see. You wasn't just sitting out of them.
I'm gonna tell you where we was at. It's a hill that leads right to Tauga Parkway. It's that big hill right there where the motor vehicle used to be.
That's
at.
right. That's
It's a curve. That curve was right there. We was sitting right on that curve.
Okay.
So cars was driving past and all of this.
Did he tie you up?
No, he wouldn't. The guy that we got, the guy that we got to go get it for us, he wouldn't even. We gave him his half and he left us.
Okay.
You know, we went in Reed's drugstore,
Okay.
bought needles,
Okay.
and he dropped us off right there.
And you were how old now?
I was 14, maybe 15 years old at the time.
So now it sounded like to me that you knew what to do. You knew the tools that you needed to shoot that dope.
Yep.
Because you had been watching somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody in your family strung up in it? Mother, father, sister, brother, uncles that you knew, that you saw doing that when you were coming up?
I did.
Really?
I did. He's in the fellowship too. He got 22 years of recovery
Praise the
time
Lord.
now.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Because for you to be at that age, and you said you're all cop, but he left you. Then you went to Reed's and got the needles and all. Isn't that right? Mm-hmm. You didn't say you went to somebody and asked them, say, well, now that we got this dope, what do we do? Mm-hmm. You knew what to do.
Learned behavior.
Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
And you went and to Reed's and got the needles.
Got the needles.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And the syringe.
And the syringe. Well, the syringe, which is the needle.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the person who sold that to you all knew what you all were doing at that age.
Well, again, as I stated before, we couldn't get it because at this time, at this time, pregnant women couldn't buy dope.
I'm talking about the syringes. I'm talking about the syringes.
Oh,
you all bought the syringes.
yeah, we bought the syringes. Syringes.
Yeah, and none of y'all had diabetes. Y'all wasn't shooting, because y'all had to
Only
take your
person I
medicine.
knew had diabetes was my grandmother, and she was home.
Right, y'all wasn't buying those needles and syringes for her.
No.
So y'all bought the needles and syringes, came back out the parking lot. Did you do it on the parking lot?
Yes, we did.
How'd you know how much to shoot?
We didn't.
You could have killed yourself.
I could have.
Is somebody out there, Ricky, who's listening to us,
Mm-hmm.
all right, who's a dope fiend?
Mm-hmm.
They already a dope fiend. They ain't shot no dope.
Mm-hmm.
And they're listening to us.
Mm-hmm.
And they're planning to do something.
Mm-hmm.
They say, well, right? Tell them what could happen if they don't know what to do.
You could die.
The first time.
The first time.
That's what happened to, what's that boy, the basketball player?
Len Bias.
That's what happened to him.
That's
Died.
what happened to him.
Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
Speak to them for a minute. Speak to that young boy. Give him some hope.
Well,
Could be a girl.
I would consider really staying away, number one, and getting some information on this thing we call addiction, which you pointed out started a long time before we picked up the first